go live. Yes, indeed. All right, here we go. Grrrr. Greetings, humans. Greetings, and welcome back to another fun-filled episode. Bear here, 29-year veteran of the woods. I'm still looking for a intro theme song. Still need to kind of get that out so we can have some sort of bear, yeah. You know, that's I need something here to kind of help it kind of move along and get kind of get a little jazzy or a little classy or something like that. Anyways, YouTube's #1 review show by a bear. That's right, and actually kind of. Gosh, we've started to get into a little bit of variety hour here, so that's kind of what we're doing here today. Thank you very much for checking out Bear's channel. Do appreciate it. Oh, Gary has a Titan plushie. Holy cow! Hold on, this is breaking news, people. This is what happens when you go online and then all of a sudden news happens. Let me just, because we were actually going to get to that, but. Got some updates from Expendables and also from Battle Made a Knuckle Bomb, but let's check it out here. Titan Mouse of Might plushie. The Titan Mouse of Might plushie on Kickstarter. Gary, why Kickstarter? I tell you what, actually that's not a bad idea. Neat little guy there. Needs like a bear villain to go against there, but that's all right. Titan Mouse and Might, the plushie on Kickstarter. There you go. There you are. So there's that. Breaking news. Breaking as bear was going live here. So there we go. All right, let's see where I for crying out loud, Gary, you got me all turned around here. Got me all turned around. Got Bear all turned around because we've actually got other updates here. Let me get to it here. There we are. Gotta get old Bear in here as well. I'm going to talk about. Oh, there we go. Battle Maiden. The Battle Maiden Knucklebog from Kyung Lee. That's right. That's good old Kyung. For crying out loud, I gotta get to it here. Move that over there. And this over here, so Bear can see it all for crying out loud. We plan to do, not today, by any, not by a long shot, but do plan on doing at some point a sort of a professional show, if you will, but won't be today. No, it won't. All right, I'm having some sort of buffering. Oh, the buffering issue. I tell you what, one day, OBS. Oh, yes. Oh, all right. Anyways, Kyung Lee, Battle Made a Knuckle Bomb. He's got an update here. We will get to it here. I tell you what, Bear. All right. Shipping and contact info reminder. Fulfillment incoming. Which, by the way, if you haven't checked out Kyung Lee's stuff, do check him out. A lot of people aren't really into the sort of manga comic books or some. Maybe they might not be interested. It's in black and white, so they might kind of pass it by because I want some color. I need some color in my comic book. But you know what? I tell you what. Battle Made #1. Still on the #1 list for Bear is the best comic in Comicsgate. Yes, that's right. So, got that. Battle Maiden #2. Excellent book. I just like the first one a little bit better there. He's doing these, what do you call it? What does he call them? The standard edition? I think it's called the standard edition that he has, where he re-releases, in this case, the second book. He's going to re-release it in more of a what does he call that? Sort of a newsprint type paper. So not the premium quality that you get from I think he called it the premium edition or the premier edition, something like that. Those are, real classy, heavyweight paper, nice, and all the bells and whistles that you would expect. This is kind of a little bit more of a kind of a pared down version, which is great. Actually, it wasn't a bad price. I think it was like $8, $8, something like that for the book there. So there you go. Definitely coming down in price. That's good. All right. So anyways, he's getting into shipping and contact. By the way, Bear keeps interrupting himself here, but one of the best, I would say probably the best fulfillers that we have in Comicsgate. Not, I mean, of course, packaging and all that other stuff, but, keeping in contact, all that sort of stuff, updates all the time, everything. Kyung Lee, definitely a class act and somebody who should be emulated throughout Comicsgate as far as the fulfillment goes. So he says, hello, everyone. Just wanted to throw out a quick reminder. Please double check that your shipping address and contact information are currently up to date. We're going to begin fulfillment on Tuesday. Isn't that today? Or excuse me, yesterday. Holy cow. We might actually get a Battle Maiden book in our hands sooner rather than later. As soon as the books are delivered to the studio, one of the benefits to printing locally is that's a really fast turnaround. There we go. I think he was printing them in China up until the Wu flu happened and all that sort of stuff. But that's a real one of the things that Bear tries to say is maybe have that as a stretch goal. Some of the smaller campaigns might not be able to do the print in the USA. It might be cheaper to print overseas or something like that. But you know what? If the book is kind of selling well and doing really well and everything, you might want to have that as an option there to do a print in the USA. Not only printing locally and helping out your local economy and your local people around there. You're also going to get it a whole lot cheaper. So sure, it might be cheaper to do something overseas, but it's going to take time to, cross the Pacific or the Atlantic or go through the Suez Canal there, maybe get stuck sideways somehow. But, usually that's like 6 to 8 weeks or something like that. So, I mean, that could be 6 to 8 weeks that you're fulfilling or getting books out into people's hands and everything. So, definitely something to check out. All right, he goes on, he says, naturally, the past couple of days have been anxiety-ridden for me. As always, the case before receiving the books. Yes, indeed. Despite the proofs looking great, you just never know how they're going to turn out in the end until the books are in hand. But all the cards, prints, and inserts are ready to go and came out looking great. That's good to hear. I'll post as soon as fulfillment has begun, but for the most current news, please consider following me on Twitter. Grrrrr! It's Arun Faust. There we go. I've got Sharpies ready for signing. Kyung Lee always kind of has the nice little signature in there. He's got the little bunny rabbit that he kind of draws on there. It's very neat, very neat. Got the Sharpie ready for signing, aiming to get fulfillment wrapped up in a day or two once the books are in. Once we've fulfilled this campaign, we're still on schedule to launch. I mean, I tell you what, one right after the other here. Launch Battle Maiden Knuckle Bomb number 3 in November. That's not too far away. So thank you all for your support. None of this is possible without you guys and maybe a bear. And don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Bear won't. Bear will never do that. Take care, everyone, says Kyung. There we go. So there you are. There's some good news as far as Battle Maiden Knuckle Bomb is going. So there we are. Let's do that. And then we also have from, let me see if I can minimize that. I need to, people, I only got so much screen space here. All right. Get this over and do the thing with the thing in the thing. And I can't see the thing. For crying out loud. This is just, okay. All right. One of these days. It won't be today. Definitely will not be today when we do. Of course, everybody's looking at a blank screen. So let Bear put up what he meant to put up here. For crying out loud, we will get there eventually, people. You promise. From Richard C. Meyer. That's right, your boy Zach. He's also getting into fulfillment here, talking about the Expendables book here. It says, books and pin-ups are being printed this week. Hi, everyone. Richard C. Myers always has the kind of bold stuff where Beard never knows how to read it, if you read it real loud or something like that. Anyways. Here's a list of all the different books and pinups. They're being printed this week, and it shows all the Kelsey, Shannon, Tucci, Mayer, Johnson, Renzo, all the different covers and variants there. And then you've got your hardcovers, your Stallone Stein hardcover book. There we are, and just the regular hardcover book there. I bet you kind of sly is out there like, hey, where's the book at? I signed it a while back. Where is it? Bear doesn't do a very good Stallone there, so Pardon beer here. Of course, you've also got the pinups there from Kelsey, Billy Tucci, and all the rest there, including Kyle Ritter. There we go. Actually, we will get into that in just a second. But Kyle Ritter there, the pinup. He says, yesterday I mailed off the last of the t-shirts, and tomorrow I will start packing up the stretch goals item together. Thanks, Richard. There you go. So 2 books that are about to be fulfilled. It was a couple days ago, but there you are. So hopefully we got things kind of rock and rolling here. Hopefully that's going pretty well here for people. So let me get out of that, because actually we had some interesting stuff here. Let me minimize this and get it out of the way. And let me just go back, because Bear has been ignoring the chat here, and that's because let's see, is there? Oh, for crying out loud, is Bear not getting the chats again? I hate to refresh this, but I might have to refresh this a little bit. So if we go offline, bear with Bear here. Let's just see if this will work. Let's see if this will work, people. All right. Let's see. It does the thing. Hopefully it does the thing with the thing. It doesn't mess up. Doesn't mess up too bad. I think. Okay, I see the Bear comment there. I tell you what, people, OBS, between OBS and YouTube here, it's just been kind of a pain in the you-know-wheres, people. I tell you what. So anyways, all right, so we were talking real quick about Kyle Ritter here. Actually have, if I can get to it here, let me find it here. Beer with Bear. There we go. So one of the things that Bear's been doing for the past couple months here, originally was doing reviews of books and stuff like that. It would take Bear quite a while to get it done and everything. So one of the things, adding with the live shows that we were doing here, hey, why not do a review on the live show? And then it became kind of a head-to-head. So we'd put up books head-to-head with each other and kind of do a review do 2 reviews at the same time, and then put them head-to-head, figure out who's the winner and everything. So we had, not too long ago, Starblades go up against Titan. Speaking of Titans, here we go. Titan, Mouse of Might, number 2. Titan came out ahead, but, Bear was kind of going back and kind of looking at some of the different reviews and how to do them and everything, and decided to go ahead and do a review. We had already done the review on the channel and everything, but go ahead and do a nice review here where we're actually showing a lot of the artwork and everything, and getting a little bit more in depth to it. We kind of had some photos and everything, but it's a little hard kind of doing a live show and then clicking through different pictures or artwork and everything, and trying to get that just right. And like this, where it's just a single panel or something like that, I mean, that takes a little bit of time. So Bear wasn't able to do that when he did this review initially, but went back, as you can see, went back and went through all the artwork here, and went ahead and put it in here, and went ahead and kind of did a neat little job here. I don't know if we can, let's see, can we hear this? I don't know. Sometimes I don't know if it will export out or not. No, it doesn't. It doesn't look like it. Anyways, so hope to have this up probably tomorrow for a Starblades review. So if you either missed it the first time or actually just want to look at some of the great artwork that Kyle Ritter did, I mean, knocked it out of the park. It was fun doing kind of redoing the review, kind of going back through it and everything, and just going through some of the artwork and everything. Really good, really fun stuff. Really did enjoy doing this review. Took a little bit of time there, but Bear messed up here and said rinse, recycle, and repeat. There you go. So I threw that in. There's some stuff that Bear cut out, but some of the funny stuff. Got to leave that in there. So yeah, if you didn't get a chance to check it out the first time, hey, go check it out. Hopefully, be up either later tonight or early tomorrow. It just kind of depends on how long it takes to render with YouTube and all that sort of stuff. So wanted to give a quick mention out there to Kyle Ritter. Great work. Do look forward to Starblades 2 if it ever comes out. Didn't want to give the impression that it was a bad book or anything just because it didn't beat Titan 2. But there we go, Titan 2. In fact, probably might do the Titan 2 review. Just go back and do some of that. Bear didn't scan in all the stuff like he did with Starblades. It's a much bigger book and many more pages. So Bear got up to probably 20, 25 or something like that, and ended up calling it. Says, hey, that's plenty of scanning for Bear today. So might have to rescan some stuff to do a Titan review. But hey, if you want to see a Titan review, why don't you leave a comment in the comment section below here and let Bear know if you want to see a Titan number 2 review. Number 2, it was the second book there. So, all right, let's get into what everybody came here for. And that would be not a blank screen. I promise you, not a blank screen. Let's get to it. We're talking about, this is from a Screen Rant, not one of Bear's favorite sites, but there you go, a Screen Rant. And they're talking about, the eternally cursed, what's called the Batman, as it were, the Batman movie that's coming out, I don't know, this year, next year, the year after, whatever they decide to actually put it out, because I believe it's one of the, if it's not the most expensive movies ever made, it's like one of the most expensive, because they keep having to come back and do the shoots and reshoots and the what was the main character? What is the main guy's name? Patterson, whatever his name is. He wouldn't like bulk up or do any exercise or anything like that. So it was just like this scrawny Batman, So they kind of were doing some of the shots where it's a lot of actions. They had kind of the stunt person in there, so they got the stunt replacement doing all the stuff, and then they bring Batman in, and Batman's like 20, 30 pounds lighter, and, nowhere near the muscle mass and everything, maybe a foot shorter or something like that. So, I think the Batman, not just any Batman, but the Batman is going to be one of the biggest bombs that we're ever going to see. And here's why. From Screen Rant, I actually wanted to find out the actual source of this, but couldn't find it, so bear with Bear here on this one. Let me get to drink here. There we go. The latest look at the Batman comes in a featurette screened at CinemaCon, an event held for the benefit of theater owners. All 5 of them left. It featured some new footage of Serkis's Alfred, along with some interviews. Oh boy, oh man, that'll put some butts in the seats. Alfred, when your big movie, The Batman is coming out, and you need to, kind of smooth the waters there, because Warner Brothers, they're actually kind of they're doing the HBO Max kind of thing, so they're releasing it in theaters, and they're also releasing it online at the same time, so probably not a whole lot of people are going to go to the theaters if they can just kind of look at it at home or something like that, so you got to kind of smooth those waters over a little bit, and they're sending Alfred. So there you go. The footage also includes comments from director Reeves, who spoke about what sets his Batman, the Batman adaptation, from others. And he said, quote, "I feel that we've seen a lot of origin stories. It seems things go further and further into fantasy in a comic book. What? Oh my God. And I have thought, well, in one place, we haven't been as grounding it in the way that Year One does. To come right at you, to come right into a young Batman." There we go. Probably still in elementary school there. Not being an origin tale, but referring to his origins and shaking them to his core. So wait a minute, it's not an origin tale, but it's referring to his origins. Yeah, that makes sense. And shaking him to his core. His core. You can have it be very practical, but I also thought that it could be the most emotional Batman ever. Why? So apparently, the director. It was supposed to be Ben Affleck, which I thought was, even if he wasn't going to be in the suit anymore, I thought he would make a good director. But no, they threw it away for the guy that did what was it? What was it? The Apes movies, right? The Planet of the Apes movies. So yeah, he's going to have a very emo Batman. I mean, what the world needs right now with crime increasing and seeming like things are just kind of spiraling out of control. What you want is your dark crusader over there, in the corner, just kind of huddled up, crying to himself. I mean, that's the kind of image that you want to put out there to the theater owners out there who are just like hanging on by a dear thread to oh yeah, here's the movie that's going to come out. It's going to be the guy, what was it? The Twilight movies that he was in, the Twilight guy. I tell you what, people. All right, let me go back and see if there is any chats, which there is not. Is this thing on? Is this thing even live? I don't even know. It says average watch time 3 seconds. Well, I do appreciate each second there. So, must have been the blank screen that scared everybody away. All right, so we've got that. We've also got kind of another story here. Wasn't sure if Beer wanted to do it, but since we don't have anybody else in the chat, let's go ahead and go through it here. This is from Deadline, and this is kind of going through the kind of the English BBC kind of thing here, but it kind of encapsulates a lot of stuff that's going on. It asks, is TV too woke? Industry and media debate buzz topic and reveal eye-opening survey on disparity between public and TV sector views. And this is in Edinburgh. There you go. And that's the guy with The Office and whatever. Not a big fan of The Office. I'm in lots of meetings now. Where people tell me, who is this? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm in lots of meetings now where people tell me this will never get on because it's not woke enough, says Ash Atala, award-winning comedy producer of hits including The Office and the E.T. Crowd, told a spirited panel at the Edinburgh TV Festival. Oh boy. I mean, people just beating feet to get to the Edinburgh TV Festival, assembled to discuss the question of how TV makers can properly represent diverse Britain in all its forms. Well, I mean, you go from kind of the light pasty white to kind of the more kind of darker pasty white, I suppose. I'm amazed at how fast. I hate using this word. I'm amazed at how fast the white people have thought, quote, we can't get on television, he continued. Quote, that's come in hard and fast in the last 2 years, and it's a bewildering experience to those meeting after 15 years of the opposite. Now white people think that there's no place for them. He added that even having the discussion publicly is increasingly challenging for people, though fear of being castigated and canceled. Well, yeah, you would imagine, wouldn't you? Ash, you're just right on top of everything. Mo being Jar, Bear tries his best, but in this case, I'm not even going to try. Not even going to try. It is my truth. It is Bear's truth of whatever your stupid name is. That's what he's going to say. Moonbeam, a broadcast journalist and presenter, told an opposite but equal story. I don't know if it can be opposite and also equal. At this, I don't know. Of being asked to develop an idea with a familiar female TV professional, quote, who happens to be a woman with brown skin. I hate, again, who happens to be. No, you are. Everybody's unique. Everybody's individualistic. You didn't like trip one day and then fall into like a vat of a whiteout or something like that. That's what you're born with, people. I tell you what. This series, meant to be about British Asian identity, hit a snag when the woman admitted to Azar she had been growing up in the Middle East and attended private school and knew nothing about the subject. Well, who cares? Just make it, for crying out loud. That's a tick box. You don't want to be in a box with a whole bunch of ticks. That's terrible. That's a department who wants to commission an individual. And that's not helpful because that person doesn't have the diversity of experience. Well, which one is it? Is it diversity or experience? It's one or the other. I believe passionately in a public service broadcasting, but if we're going to represent the masses, you freaking pinko, the public, then we need a higher bar for what diversity really is. Oh, yeah, you can always tell when somebody says the masses there. Yeah, that's kind of a red flag. A GB, I'm guessing Great Britain, a news journalist, I-Man, agreed, saying, quote, if you only look through the lens of identity, you're going to have a narrow spectrum of opinion and ideology. Ooh, we should avoid ticking a box. Man, they are all talking about ticking boxes here. But see people in the fulfillment of who they are and not what category they tick. They are all about ticking in boxes. I don't know. Usually the ticks, they suck the blood out there, so I don't know. In a complex and wide-ranging discussion, oh yeah, I'm sure, Louisa Compton, head of the news and current affairs and sports. Holy cow, that's a lot. Head of the news, current affairs, and sports. That's quite a load there. At Channel 4, pointing out the actual word woke, quote unquote, means being alert to injustice and not wanting to. Actually, that is kind of, it's somewhat true. They kind of got it. Actually, a while back, woke actually was, this is why Bear isn't it tries to use sort of either the cancel culture or, corporate culture even, rather than woke sometimes, because woke actually started out as something that was you had it in here in America, usually kind of urban areas and stuff like that. You're trying to watch out, hey, they were trying to say you want to stay woke. In other words, don't fall asleep, don't be slipping. You're heading down the street and the popo are going to be watching after you. So, stay woke, make sure you got all your brake lights working, make sure you got all your ID and all this other stuff. They're going to be coming, trying to, pull you over or something like that. So just be mindful, keep your head on a swivel, don't go sleeping or anything like that. Stay woke. That's what it meant. Usually, kind of in the police context. That sort of deal in the United States. Then it became basically taken over by the, may I say, since we're talking about quote unquote white people, it was actually, your sort of white, upper middle class kind of Karen types out there that basically took that term away from the brothers out there and kind of took it as their own term, cultural appropriation as it were, and kind of turned it into the more social justice sort of situation where it wasn't that to begin with. It wasn't there to begin with. So anyways, that's one of the reasons why Bear doesn't use the term woke in a sort of negative term, because actually the original meaning was actually more of a positive keep your heads up type situation there, where now it means something completely different. So anyways, he points out that it's being alert to injustice and not wanting to offend anyone, which seems like fairly important principles. But it's become the new shorthand for political correctness gone mad. Well, actually, so now we've actually claimed it back. Claimed it back, sucker. Compton, city of Compton. Let's see. Political correctness gone mad. It's the new dividing line. Well, you shouldn't have put up that dividing line in the first place. It just means being too right on for words. It can alienate some audiences who feel that the world is moving on faster and leaving them behind. Yeah, well, Louise Compton, you are a complete moron. You are a dummy. Dummy. I'm sorry. I mean, that might be too right for words, but it's Bear's truth. It is Bear's truth. Now, it actually gets into the meat of the matter here, as it were. A specialty commission survey revealed that 62% of the viewing audience, this would be in Britain, believes that political correctness, or wokeness as it were, has gone way too far, compared with only 19% of figures working within the TV industry. Like, what's his name? Azar, and then Compton, and, all these other knuckleheads that are just, basically too stupid to tie their own shoes there. I know it's, it might be mean, but it is being right on for words, I've got to say. Kazar, whatever the hell. He said that it's depressing, but the answer is not to give Nick Ferreri a primetime show. What's wrong with Bear likes diners, drive-ins, and dives. I mean, it's a good show. Quit picking on. His hair is kind of weird, but that's about it. And the reason that this majority of the public thinks that online, that there's a whole section of society, including cis, straight, white. Oh, okay. Who were really worried that they keep being told that they're just kind of evil, just a little bit of evil. Let's see, where would it be? It would be, kind of the guy who cuts in front of you in line. Maybe Stalin. Probably the Taliban, and then it would be, then the devil, and then it would be cis. I don't even know what cis is. Kiss. No, it could be kiss. Sice? Straight and white people. There we go. Yeah, that's they're just kind of evil. Just a little bit there. Just a little bit of evil. You need to take people with you. You do. Big Brother in the 2000s did so much for trans representation. It wasn't the academic and dry look. It took people with the program with an E. Ooh. The survey found, what they're doing is they're, putting in the okay, this is what the survey is. This is the, facts of the survey, even though they're opinions, the facts of the survey. And then they go to, stupid people. I'm sorry. It's Bear's truth. It might hurt. But it's Bear's truth. Let's see. They do the percentages, and then they ask somebody about their opinion of it. So the survey found that 40% of the viewing audience said they're proud of the UK, compared with only 20% of the TV industry people. Well, that might be an issue right there. Might be an issue. Atala, whatever the hell, another knucklehead, said that he doesn't believe comedy has to be all representative, saying, quote, "We can just take a post of you and just show a diverse world through our comedy. There you go. All you got to do is just make a joke. It's fun." And he should have stopped right there. For example, if we know that the Trump election wasn't rigged. Oh, that's interesting. I like the word if. I like the equivocation here of if we didn't know, or if we did know that the Trump election wasn't rigged, well, how do you know? How do we know? Well, the best way to do that would be kind of doing an audit, but I suppose that's too bad. Roscoe! Good to see you here, Roscoe. Bear was just talking to himself for the longest time. Ask a stupid question from stupid people, and you get stupid answers. I think that pretty much wraps it up right there, I tell you what. There we go. Why do we have to represent so many people that frighteningly, oh my goodness, think that it was? Their views are not correct scientifically, so how useful is it to spend time on it? Well, you could just make the joke and just, you don't have to bring politics or anything like that into it. You can just make a funny joke. It's kind of what Bear does here. He pointed out that his job is much easier in comedy than it was for people wrestling with these quandaries in the news and current affairs. Speaking for the latter, Compton pointed out that, quote, "We don't need to balance debate or something like climate change denial, but when you try to silence a group of people, it feeds into a sense of conspiracy." I like how you equivalate that, lady. It just feeds into a sense. It's not like, they really are coming out to get you. Even worried about the excluding phrases of words like anti-vaxxer and denier, they've become expanded to include genuine perspectives that are critical. The best thing to do is to present a range of views so that someone can make up their own judgment, to trust people, to hear a range of perspective, and to come to the one that rings most true with their experience, or actually just is true. Let's see, it says, the survey found that 63% of TV industry professionals see the British Empire as something to be ashamed of, compared with only 23% of the viewing public. Gee, I wonder if that could cause some issues there. Never know. Roscoe asks, or says, how narrow-minded of the left to think that they are only right, and anyone who disagrees is so obviously wrong. Well, that's where we kind of jump off here. Let me get to the thing where he does the thing, and oh my goodness, where did the OBS go? Did it disappear? Let's see, where did it go? Oh, there it goes. Okay, all right. One of these days, we will actually do a professional show here, but it's not going to be today. All right, so since we're just going to bounce from that, we kind of go from comic books to, of course, the most popular thing on the channel for some reason. Nope, not that one. Let's see. There we go. Is, of course, our continuing coverage of the Wu flu and the vaccines. So, you come here for comedy, and you stay here for the very dry stuff of effectiveness of the Wu flu vaccines of preventing the Wu flu infection among frontline workers before enduring the variant predominance in 8 of U.S. locations, December 20th to August 21st. So we were talking the last time a little bit about, why we're being required to now get a third shot. So let's just say you went out and you did your duty out there, and you got your vaccine shot. You got your 2 vaccine shots, if that's the one that you happen to get there. Well, now they're saying, it might not be the baddest idea in the world to go ahead and get that third one there just in case. And a lot of people are saying, not being in the anti-vax situation there, but just saying, hey, if it was so effective here, why are we having to get a third one? And, we kind of went back and kind of talked a little bit about that and where a lot of that stuff kind of comes from. Well, Beer kind of come up with a little bit more information here. So hope you guys will enjoy this and stick with Beer here. So basically what we're trying to do is go, and you see all the tabs that we got open here. Oh my goodness. It's going to take a minute. But, basically going, hour and a half, just kind of doing a little bit of quick research here, kind of came up with some stuff here. So, why a bear that does comic reviews can come up with all this stuff, and a lot of the other people, including, what was her name, Compton lady, why they can't seem to get on board with some of this stuff here. So let's get through it here. Oh, the fun, exciting stuff here. So we're trying to go through sites that are CDC or FDA. We've got a couple other ones as well, but basically authoritative sources. So when everybody says you got to follow the science, you got to follow what the guidelines are. Well, here we go. Here's all the guidelines here. So let's. Oh shoot! I lost my place here. Oh, he lost his place here. Let's see. I think this is the one. Yeah, here we go. So they did a 35-week study with 4,136 participants with no previous lab documented infection, contributing to a median of 20 unvaccinated days per participant. Blah 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 blah. Goes on, talks about all this stuff. Okay. So what we're looking for is what the infection rate was if people got infected, and then what is the percentage of people that you get the shot, and is it effective? Is it not effective? Okay, so this is what the CDC says. So basically, what you can see here is it's going down. It's going down between some of those people based on how long it has been. So they did it here for 120 days. They did it for 150 days, that sort of deal. So what they're saying right here is 95% effective. It's all great and everything. Nothing wrong. Nothing wrong. Everything's great. Go ahead and get your 3rd shot. Get your 5th shot. Get 12 shots if you need to. Again, don't get 12 shots. Please, please, people, do not follow medical advice from a bear. That'd be like the worst thing that you could ever do. So anyways, just as a baseline, okay, this is where we're at, 95% effective, according to the CDC, but we want to look at some of the dates here, because that actually is going to be important here. So let's go to our next slide here, as it were. Let's see. This is a site called MedRxiv. Basically, it's a bunch of different kind of a collection of articles in kind of one central place. You know, they say the preprint server for health sciences, so kind of where you would go to publish an article and stuff like that. It's not coming directly from the CDC, but I believe, if I'm not mistaken, this is directly from Pfizer. So they came out with the approval of the vaccine. So what we're looking at is the 6-month safety and efficacy for the Wu flu there. And again, dang it, it took out my my marks. I left this marked here, but anyways, let's see results. Let's see. It continued to be safe and well tolerated. Few participants had adverse events leading to the study withdrawal, and we'll get to that in a second. VE, which means how effective it is, against the Wu flu was 91%, and they have different ways of kind of calculating some of that stuff. Median and anyways, through 6 months of follow-up. So that's important. Keep that in mind, 6 months. Among valuable participants, and irrespective of previous Wu flu infection, it was effective. 86% to 100% was seen across counties in populations with diverse characteristics of age, sex, race, ethnicity, and Wu flu risk factors in participants without evidence of previous infection. It was effective. VE against severe disease was 97% in South Africa, where it is. They've got the beta variant was predominant, and 100% was observed. So there you go. Hey, all good news. All good news. Okay, conclusion. With up to 6 months of follow-up and despite a gradually declining trend in vaccine efficacy, the particular drug that they have here had a favorable safety profile. It was highly efficacious. One of the deals, they come up with a whole bunch of stuff that is very important for the doctors and all that stuff. If you're in the medical field, that sort of deal. It's completely confusing for just, your normal average bear, as it were. So a lot of this stuff, it kind of gets lost in a little mumbo jumbo, as it were, but we'll go ahead and try and separate the wheat from the chaff here for you people. All right, so that's what they're saying here. That's what they're saying. This is as far as Pfizer is going. They're submitting stuff to the FDA to get it approved, so it's no longer an experimental vaccine. It's actually been approved, and all the connotations that go with that. We won't get into that for just a second, but continuing on, we want to kind of go back here just a little bit and talk about just the flu, the influenza, because that is what we're talking about with, of course, the Wu flu, as it were. So we're another kind of academic paper here from the Clinical Infectious Diseases and the Infectious Disease Society of America. Early bird gets the worm, which should be done about warning intraseasonal immunity against seasonal influenza. So they're trying to discuss, okay, what about the flu here? Okay. Oh, finally, I finally got my My marking's up here. That works. All right. It is apparent that our seasonal influenza vaccine campaign, and by the way, this is actually from, if I can find it here, August of 2018. So this is a couple years ago. Okay. Just keep that in mind. It is apparent that our seasonal influenza vaccine campaign should be reevaluated, refocused, and potentially redesigned. While the public health community acknowledges that the efficacy rate will be or can be as low as 39% in a given season, the assumption is that those between 39% and 65% of people for which the vaccine is effective will remain protected for the duration of the influenza season. Pardon me. So, if you remember, going back, we were told, oh no, the Wu flu vaccine, it's 80, 90, 100% effective. 100% effective. Nothing could go wrong. Get it, and you're good to go. Take the masks off. You can do all sorts of stuff. Okay, so this is just for the regular flu. 39 to 65% is effective. Now they've had a lot more time, energy, study, all that sort of stuff into getting the flu. Do you call it vaccine? I guess a vaccine. The flu vaccine, the flu shot. They have more experience with that than they do with this new one here. It's an mRNA vaccine, a whole bunch of different stuff going on. Let's get a beer drink here. All right. So it goes on. It says a series of new studies challenge that notion that they're going to be remain protected during the entire influenza season. In this perspective, we investigate the phenomenon known as waning interseasonal immunity. That is, the loss of a vaccine-induced protection during the season of influenza while the virus is still actively circulating. Although the root causes of interseasonal waning immunity are up for debate, and they talk about the eggs that they use to kind of cultivate the virus that they, put in the shots, the evidence towards its existence, is becoming increasingly difficult to ignore. Yeah, well, you don't want to ignore stuff. The loss of immunity within vaccinated populations during an influenza season has, hear we out here, people, a major public health ramifications. New public health approaches to distribution of influenza vaccine, new vaccine technologies, and improved fundamental understanding of the influenza viruses and vaccines are critical to reducing the morbidity, mortality, and economic burden associated with influenza. And you could probably put in the Wu flu there as well. So again, they have it just for, let's see, they made and we'll go through them here in just a minute, but the H3N2 strain a couple years back, 25% effective. 25% effective. All right, moving on. Here we go. Here we are. So, past season vaccine effectiveness of the vaccines, the flu vaccines that you had in years past. So here we go. The influenza season. This is your reference point if you want to take a look at it. Study sites, mainly, Wisconsin. Anyways, a couple different states, mainly in the Midwest there. The number of patients that they have, and then the overall effectiveness and what they. This is kind of the range that they have. I believe this is the sort of range that they have. Kind of varies, and then they just kind of figured out the median, I believe, in all of this stuff. So percentage effective, 2018, 2019, 29%. Year before that, 38%. Year before that, 40%. Year before that, 48%. Doing good that year, 2015, 2016. Year before that, 19%. Not good at all. Year before that, 52%. Year before that, 49%. 2011, 2012, that would be 47% effective. 2010 to 2011, 60% effective. I think that's the highest one. Year before that, 56% effective, 41% effective, 37% effective in 2007-8. The year before that, 52% effective. Year before that, 21% effective. And then all the way back in 2004, 2005, 10% effective. So those are the flu shots that you get a lot more. I mean, they're coming up with that stuff months and months and months ahead of time before actual flu season starts. So, they've done the research. Sometimes it's a little bit of a gamble. You try to pick the right strain that you go out into the vaccine production. Sometimes you might get the wrong strain there, and you're not going to be as effective as it. So there you go. That's just for the flu stuff to be effective. So we were all told, 95, 90, whatever. Okay, it's effective. Don't worry about it, Bear. Don't worry about it. Yes, influenza. Yes. Well, listen. You try talking, Bear, and trying to tell Bear how to talk. I tell you what. All right. So 29, 20, 38, blah 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 blah. So that should be kind of a normal range, right? A normal range. All right. So let's go over to Israel here. Israel had a 90 to 95% vaccination rates, so they were much higher, much higher than where the U.S. was, and they were pretty much, I believe, pretty much all with the Pfizer vaccine. If Bear remembers correctly, it might have been a little bit different there, but pretty much they went with the Pfizer vaccine. And this is back on July. So July 5th, Israel reported on Monday a decrease in the effectiveness of the Pfizer BioNTech Wu flu vaccine and preventing infections and systematic illness. And we will get to that in just a moment too. But said that it remained highly effective in preventing serious illness. Asterisk marks on that. Asterisk marks. The decline has coincided with the spread of the Delta variant and the end of social distancing restrictions in Israel. Well, true, but I mean, you still would probably have some sort of effectiveness even if it was the Delta variant. But here we go. That was in July. 1 month later, Israel says the Wu flu vaccine is just 39% effective as Delta spreads, but is still preventing severe illness. Again, asterisk marks on that one. So Israel also, what was it? Iceland, I think. One of these other countries had a really high vaccination rates, and they're seeing a whole lot of new cases. So probably we can use those as predictors as far as where we're going to be in maybe a month, 2 months, possibly 3 months down the line, which is, even though you've got your shot, possibility there that you could be reinfected there. So got to keep that in mind as to why they are trying to push on the third shot on everybody and almost requiring that. So anyways, I don't know what happened there. This was from the documents that Pfizer put out going to the FDA to get it approved here. So from its peak post-dose number 2, observed the effectiveness declined from 7 days to 2 months post-dose. It was at 96%. From 2 months to 4 months, it was 90%. And for 4 months to the data cutoff, and this is important, people, this is important right here, 83%. Okay, so we can see that it went from, 96 to 90 to 83. Now, we haven't gotten from 4 months, or excuse me, 6 months on. 6 months on, right? So we're all looking at basing our decisions on what is the data coming out after these people have been tested, over a length of time here, longer than just a couple of months here. All right, so let's go to our good friends at the FDA. And this is just kind of how many people, and Bear actually kind of did a comparison. So I'm not sure if the total number of people here is correct, because the total number of people, Bear believes, when Pfizer put out the numbers, it was 30,000. So where the extra 7,000 people come from, I'm not sure. They had a number of people withdrawn here, but it wasn't the amount that would have caused that to change 7,000 people. So put a little star on this one, because there might be a difference about 7,000 people here. But Bear just wanted to show you where some of the data is coming from. So they're checking out people that have got the dose and then got the placebo there. Okay, so we kind of figure it out. Okay, they got 1 dose, they got 2 dose. Figure it out how many people they had there. Now to some of the people out there, to some of the very extreme skeptics, you might kind of look at the 2 deaths that are on there. It's not a very a big enough sample size to say, yes, of course, the vaccine caused the death there, because we actually had on the placebo 4 people died there. So yeah, it's too few numbers to count that. But just wanted to lay that out, show out how many people they were testing, comparing all that sort of stuff. It was kind of interesting here, kind of reading in the footnotes, that they actually had a good number of people, 120 HIV positive participants included in the table here. They were analyzed, were summarized separately from the analysis based on the phase 2 and 3 of the safety population, but included in the all-enrolled population analysis preserved for this briefing document. So they basically took the people out. I just thought that was kind of interesting that they had that there. So anyways, data, there's your numbers right there. Alrighty. So we will move on. All right. So it says, let's see, where was I here? I'm trying to figure out which one was this. Just so I can give you guys the... this is another journal, editorial journal. So, just so you know, COVID vaccines and the rush to regulation approval. Do we need more data? That would be a question. The FDA said that it would want a vaccine at least 50% effective, with interval reaching no lower than 30% against a primary endpoint in preventing the Wu flu or the Wu flu disease of any severity, parameters that had previously defined as necessary for approval. So the FDA is trying to approve the vaccine here, and okay, it needs to be at the very least 30% effective. Excuse me. Even for non-clinical parameters like manufacturing quality, the FDA characterizes expectations for the EUA as very similar to those for approval. So it says one key difference between the EUA, emergency use, and approval, also called the licensure, for which vaccines is known as a BLA, or biological license application. I tell you what, so many stuff here for Bear. Was the expected length of the follow-up of trial participants. Unlike its clear articulation of 2 months for EUA, the FDA is not committed to a clear minimum for approval. Okay, so keep that in mind. Cody Messner, a professor of pediatrics at Tufts University and member of the FDA's advisory committee, was curious. So he asked, quote, "Is this possible to predict or estimate the conditions of safety and efficacy might be satisfied for the BLA?" And he asked that at the agency's December 10th meeting, which had been converted to consider the FDA's first emergency use authorization for the vaccine. The Pfizer vaccine. The FDA's Dorian Fink, what a name, said, "I couldn't predict, but I will say that we typically ask for, and this is important, at least 6 months of follow-up in substantial number of clinical trial participants to constitute a safety database that would support the licensure, or, getting it approved here, okay? 6 months. We're talking about 6 months here, so 6 months. All right. 6 months. I think we're all at 6 months here. This is a number slide from what I believe was the Pfizer. They put out the sort of control group here. We saw a little bit of that earlier. This kind of breaks it down a little bit more. You have the actual vaccine here and a placebo. So it kind of breaks it down. The number of participants, and I'm not really sure what the surveillance time is. I think just how often they looked in at them. And of course, at the very end here, it shows the effectiveness rates. So of course, after 1 dose, 2 doses, 2 to 7 days after the dose, more than 7 days after the dose, more than 7 days after the dose, but less than 2 months, more than 2 months after that, but less than 4 months, and less than 4 months after the dose. But they put this in, they haven't put out the 6-month stuff. So none of this has recorded what's going on after the 4-month period, which basically coincided when we had the sort of Delta variant coming in. So they're missing 2 very important data points, and actually a third very important data point here, as we'll show. All right, so number of participants. So 131 for the virus, or for the vaccine, pardon me, and 1,034 for the placebo. Okay, so you got a whole bunch of people there taking a placebo. A moderate amount trying out the vaccine. I bet you they probably didn't have a whole lot produced at that point. So that's probably why the number is low to begin with. But what happened, and you can see it here, okay, it starts to decline, especially after the 4 months thing. It really declines down here. We're talking about the placebo people. Why? Because what they're supposed to do is what's called a double-blind test. So the placebo people don't know that they're getting a placebo, and the vaccinated people don't know that they're getting a vaccination. So what you wanted to do is see, okay, if somebody develops a symptom, can we compare it to the placebo, and did they receive it? Did they get the same symptoms in the placebo? Well, if they did, then you can kind of rule out that the vaccine was causing whatever the incidence was. If it doesn't show up in the placebo and it does show up in the vaccine side, well, you might have an issue there with the vaccine. That's why you do a double blind. Well, what they did was they decided to unblind the placebo people and said, if you want the vaccine, go ahead and get it. Again, there's nothing wrong with that, but we're trying to keep data on all this stuff. So all these people that were taking a placebo and found out that they were taking a placebo went out, rushed out, and got the vaccines. So you see this number going down, 50, 60, 35. They got another group here, 800, 300, 128. I mean, so they really screwed the pooch on that one, because now we don't know what the placebo group would have shown us in the data, because they went ahead and they got the vaccine. So we don't have that sort of data corollary that we can kind of compare and contrast to. All right, moving on. We're almost, I promise you people, we're almost at the end here. All right, so these are all of the different vaccines that we have out here. So from Moderna, Pfizer, AstraZeneca in the U.S., AstraZeneca in the U.K., Janssen, which I think is Johnson & Johnson. Not sure about these other two. That's all right. We're just looking at the Pfizer one here. You can also look at the Moderna one as well. You can look at either or for what we're talking about here. And actually, Beer made a mistake. Beer made a mistake because the last one he thought I misread this. I thought the Pfizer was over here in Moderna, and Beer was looking at the 30,000 on that previous slide there. Not the previous, but the one, where was it? Not that one. Not that one. Not that one. There we go. So he was looking at the 37 and thought that was off. But I made a mistake, was looking at the wrong graph here. All right. So let's go through it. Vaccine, registration name, target enrollment, ages eligible. That's another big thing. A lot of them are, 18 plus. One of them was 5 to 12, but most of them, actually, that was the UK. Most of them in the US were basically 18 plus. Pfizer, 12 plus there. Protocol publicly available. Notable excluded population. So let's take the people that they were excluding. So children and adolescents, they were excluded, and many excluded for Pfizer there because they were doing 12. Immunocompromised patients excluded. And we were talking about on the last show, it was Cinderella. Poor Cinderella got the boot because she wouldn't get the vaccine. And one of the reasons why was she was saying that trying to conceive with her husband there, and talked with her doctor there. And the doctor says, "Hey, let's hold off on that because you're trying to become pregnant and everything." Well, she was kind of excoriated because got got in a whole bunch of trouble because, oh, I'm doing it because I want to start a family and all that stuff. And, they were saying, there's no data out there that says that pregnant or breastfeeding women, are any harm. We don't have any data to show that. And actually, there's a little bit more information there. So, again, pregnant and breastfeeding women excluded from all these studies here. Now, this is where we get to the fun part. All right, prevention of symptomatic disease and vaccine recipients. So they studied for that. Reduction in severe Wu flu administration, ICU, or death. Interruption of transmission. So if person A is unvaccinated and has the virus and comes in contact with person B who has the vaccine, and then person B walks away from person A and then goes to person C, is person B able to prevent the transmission there? That's kind of important. So you see, no. Oh no, not YouTube, damn it. YouTube. I tell you what, once we get into the data, YouTube just kind of throttles you here. All right, bear with bear here. So anyways, we don't have any data as far as whether or not the vaccine reduces the severity of the disease or anything, because they never tested it. Now, there might be anecdotal information to some of that, but we don't have any from the people that studied it and are submitting these studies to the FDA and everything. They don't have any of that, so we don't have that data. So whenever somebody says, they take it as the Lord's gospel there, that yes, of course we are preventing serious illness and all this other stuff. Well, we really don't have that data. We just don't have it. So, all right. Well, okay, there it goes. Of course, it goes back right when Bear goes to check it here. All right, well, this is the last one here. And we'll go ahead and wrap it up here. I just wanted to go back. This is the NIH, U.S. National Laboratory, or Library of Medicine, and we're talking about the clinical trials here. So this is the Pfizer people here, and they're going through and checking out all the different stuff, all the different phases that they're going through, and kind of talking about all that sort of stuff. All very dry, all very boring stuff. They're doing different experimental groups here, with different dosage, different age groups. They up the dosage, see what happens, comparing with placebos and different experiments and all that other stuff. So they're doing the big work that they need to be doing. So, okay, let's take a look. When they started, actual study date, April 29th, 2020. When do they expect to be finished with it? May 2nd, 2023. So the vaccine that they just approved, it's not, and this is one of the things Bear had a little bit of kind of a, need to do a little bit more research into it. It was a little bit kind of hard to find whether or not they were talking about this particular one, where they've got the actual, blah, 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 BT 16-2B1. I don't know if it was the exact same one or if they had another one that was going to be as far as the third shot there. So have to do a little bit more research on that. But just as far as this particular one, the one that are people are getting today, they're not going to complete their study until 2 years from now, or year and a half from now. So the fact that they haven't released the data post 6 months, they've got it. They just never released it. And then the FDA accepted that without taking, I'll go back to where was the guy talking about, where was, for crying out loud. Beer, I tell you what. Anyways, so they were talking about we needed to at least get to 6 months before we kind of figured that out. Well, we don't even have the data for that. So trying to figure out some of that stuff, it gets a little bit hairy there. Hairy, as it were. So anyways, the stuff that you see, the stuff that you hear about that is talked about kind of as the Lord's gospel, that's right. that all this stuff is super effective. It'll prevent illness. It'll prevent all this other stuff. Well, we're finding out that the efficacy rate over time goes down, probably around 6 months or so. So yeah, definitely, if you've gotten the shot, you're probably going to have to get, a second one or a third one, as it were. You got the 2 shots originally. So that's why they approved it, and probably why they're going to start mandating that sort of stuff. So anyways, you guys have the data here. You guys can take that information, kind of figure it out here. Excuse me. So kind of just leaving it to you good people, as what was her name? Compton lady was talking about. Go ahead and let all the people decide. Bring them the data, let them decide there. So anyways, there we are. There we are, talking about all that stuff. Let's see, and all the yeah, I think I lost. Yeah, I think I closed that one guy. Anyways, he was talking about the 6 months. So they're only talking about effectiveness from basically 4 months or so. See, here was the 4 months to the data cutoff, and you can see where it was just going down and going down and going down. So anyways, wish that they would actually tell us a little bit more of the truth and not try to kind of hide all that stuff. Now, where is... there we go. There we go. So let's get off of that and just kind of go back to our lovely plane here, taking off and flying over. I forget which island this was, but one of the Hawaiian islands there. There we go. There you can see the nice beach there. Pretty cool picture. Do enjoy that. All right. Well, got to thank everybody that stopped by. Thank you, Roscoe, for showing up. Do appreciate you guys. Sometimes it gets a little dry and boring when you're talking efficacy rates and vaccinations, but you know what? That's what we're here for. Kind of a variety show, talking about all sorts of stuff from Batman, the most emo Batman that we're ever going to find, the crazy BBC stuff that's going on over there, and how most of the newscasters hate Britain, but most of the people in Britain don't hate Britain, so that ought to be interesting. And, of course, we're doing the updates for, Battle Maiden, and also the Expendables as well. Did a little bit of an update here on the let me see if I can get it back here. Go back to it real quick here. Doing the there it is. Talking about Starblades. Did some stuff. Gonna be doing a remaster of the review that Bear did probably a couple weeks back. With a whole bunch of great new artwork here that Bear's kind of sussed out here and kind of put it up kind of front and center here for you people to check out. Some good stuff there from Kyle Ritter. Do encourage, if you haven't checked out Starblades, hey, check it out. Some good stuff there. Good stuff there indeed. So, man, oh man, I tell you what, the whole wide range of stuff. That's kind of why we call it kind of a variety show, variety hour, as it were. So, anyways, thanks everybody for showing up. I do appreciate you. Hope you had a great time here. We try and do this every Wednesday and Saturday, so hopefully you guys will have a great week here, and we'll see you back here on Saturday. Do it all again, figure out what kind of crazy news stories that's going on, and everything in between. So once again, appreciate everybody showing up, and we'll talk to you later. Take care. Bye-bye. Grrrr.